Hello, my name is José, and I'm going to talk to you about the meaning and origins of semantics, both as a word and as a discipline, and about its scope. The term semantics was coined in the late 19th century by the French linguist Michel Brel and comes from the ancient Greek word semantikos, which means relating to science. So, yes, ancient Greek philosophers also talked about and discussed meaning. In fact, philosophers like Plato and Aristotle discussed whether words could have any natural, inherent, or intrinsic meanings, or whether these could be assigned by convention by us humans as creators of language. This last idea about the conventional side of linguist science reminds us of Saussure's theory about the features of linguistic science. Besides all this, the origin and derivation of the term meaning should make us realize how this term highlights the close relation between linguistic science and science in general. That is, both artificial and conventional science, rote science, symbols used in computer programs, etc. We must also remark that the study of science in general is called semiotics or semiology. But going back to modern semantics, we must add that this discipline was developed in the late 19th century, focusing on how words, phrases, and sentences convey meaning and how we as humans interpret them. Meaning is the heart of language. It is the main and basic reason why language exists, to communicate meaning. If, for any given reason, language failed to do so, then there would be no reason for language to exist or go along with us in our way of life. On the other hand, not only sentences have meaning. Words like the as an article, not as an adverb, on as a preposition, or au as an exclamation, they all play a bigger or smaller role in contributing something specific to the meaning of utterances in which they occur. Consequently, we can safely state that words and expressions have meanings in their own right. Meaning is a very vague term. In English, the word meaning is used to refer to such different things as, for example, first, the idea or intention lying behind a piece of language, or two, the translation of words, sentences, texts, etc., between languages. But from a theoretical, scientific point of view, developing a clear and precise explanation of meaning is far more complex. If we have a close look at how English uses the verb to mean, we will see that this word refers to a relationship involving at least three of the following factors present in any linguistic utterance: the language itself, the word, including people, objects, and everything outside of ourselves as communicators, and our own minds or intentions. For instance, let us consider the following sentence. When I was talking to you about Cordoba, I really meant Cordoba, the city in Spain, and not Cordoba, the Argentinian city. Well, in this utterance, we can find the involvement of a three-way relation. The first one being the language and linguistic expression itself, that is, the sentence. 2. The second one, the mind, that is, speaker's intentions. And 3. The third one, the word, which is represented by the two different places. Finally, we will point at the fact that English uses the verb mean to describe reference, linguistic meaning, intention, and general significance. A similar case happens in French, another nice example of language with a close link between the meaning of words and the intention of speakers. So it is not strange that the French expression vouloir dire, the equivalent of the English verb mean, literally means to want to say. Asking what do you mean in French equals asking what do you want to say. Thus, talking about meaning in French inherently involves talking about volition or wanting, a phenomenon which relates these two languages very closely and intimately. This is why some languages, including French and English, make an important connection in their standard vocabularies between language and inner conscious processes like volition, perception, and intention. On the contrary, other languages do not seem to highlight this connection. These other languages talk about the meaning of language in the same terms we use when talking about the identity or identification of two or more things in the world. In the next intervention, Andrea will be discussing the importance of the semiotic triangle, a theory proposed by Ogden and Richards in 1923, and how meaning is not inherent in words but created by a relationship between symbol, thought, and referent.